Hello everybody and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. This is going to be another A320NX Mod demonstration. I'm not going to be going over every single thing they got, but as you guys may have caught on to, I like to follow the development version. I don't use the stable release. So the advantage there is that yours truly gets to play with all the latest and greatest stuff, even if there are some bugs that come with it. I haven't ran into any real critical issues. These guys are doing a fantastic job with the implementation of all of this stuff. But I figured, what the heck, today I would do a quick flight and see how everything's going. Once again, this is not a tutorial. This is just sort of a walkthrough on the aircraft and to see how things are progressing and see how the flight experience changes or doesn't change, today will be sort of a practice run, continuing our study into the ILS navigation and landing approaches for the guide. I'm still not comfortable enough with my procedures to put them into the guide just yet. The guide is moving along very nicely. However, with the latest improvements to the A32NX, I'm probably going to have to do some more screenshots and replace some previous imagery and possibly some steps. These guys are doing a fantastic job, guys. Wait till you see some of the things that have changed with it. It looks fantastic. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the meat and potatoes of the game. And so right here, you can see up here on the website here, and I'll have a link for this in the description below. This is the master release for the A32NX, and we can just come down here and get to the master build. So here's the stable release. You can see the latest release right here, and this was all the way back on the when was this dropped? Give me a second. I want to say it was a while ago now. I think it was just after, a couple days after 1.83 dropped, or 1.9 maybe. But anyway, so 11 days ago, there we go. So 11 days ago is when this one was released, and 618 commits to the master since the release. That means there's been 618 changes, whether that be via the code or graphical or performance, changes that they've made. So I always like to use this guy right here, the master build. Okay, and 373 commits to that. Oops, I didn't mean to download that. Let's go ahead and cancel. I already have it. But you can click it and it will grab the master build. You open it up and you get to the A32NX folder, just like you would install the standard version here or the stable release. But what you can do is you can actually click on the commits here. Maybe. Sometimes. There we go. And you can read all the changes that they're making to this. Now, some of it's a little codey for me, even by my standards. So, and that just means that I don't understand what a lot of it is. There's quite a few things where what I like to do is I scroll down to the bottom, which is, I believe, their latest, October 9th. And what I look for when I'm looking at this is things like... So you can look at the README updates. That's kind of cool. So, and it just gives you an idea of where they're headed with this. And this is really awesome stuff. For example, download the new mod installer, where you can select and install, download the mod directly into your community folder. Oh, here. So let's just, download here. So it's not, well, let's see here. I'm going to try to grab this. Just grab that guy right here and copy. And it just shows, like, so these are the new steps that they're developing, right? I'm assuming we'll see this soon on the stable release, but let's go ahead and throw that link in, paste and go. Yep, we can go ahead and keep it. So that's just a security warning because it doesn't recognize it. It's not a certified installer. Nothing wrong with that. It happens all the time. And then I'll find my downloads folder. Give me a second here. Let me clear some stuff out. There we go. Bring that in, and we're gonna go 7-zip. Let's just keep it in the same directory. Boom, and there's an exe for it now. So you guys don't even need to do the, the copy, paste, delete. So let's just see how the exe works. Look at that. So dev version is out of date. Consider updating. So it's already telling me. So look at that. It even checked it. See custom folders. Yep, this is exactly where it is. MSF 2020 packages community. It even found it. That's freaking awesome. That's wonderful. So you guys are doing a great job if any of you happen to catch this video. So let's go to the development version. You know what? Hold on. Let me close Microsoft Flight Simulator. There we go. All right, so now it's downloading. And if you guys saw, I had the option development version on the left, stable version on the right. So this is really handy. I'll make sure there's a link for this in the description below if you guys are interested in doing it. I love trying out the latest and greatest. That's why even in DCS, I always fly open beta. Even when there's bugs, it's like I'll write it out because I want the latest and greatest. I'm always like that. All right, so A32NX correctly installed. Everything should be good to go. Perfect. So we'll just hit exit, close here, and let's relaunch the sim. Okay. Wanted to make sure I clicked it. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful weekend so far on this beautiful Saturday. It's absolutely gorgeous out in Tucson right now. I've been waiting for weather like this. It's starting to cool down pretty rapidly. So, unfortunately, that also means some sinus headaches are going to be coming our way. But, you know, you work with what you got. I feel like in the last couple days, my load time for MSFS has gotten longer, which is never a good thing. So I figured what we'll do today is, you know, maybe take a quick hop from go from Tucson over to LA, or not LAX. Let's do Sky Harbor. We'll go from Phoenix and let's head over to Viva Las Vegas and see how that goes. But so it will be kind of a long one. I'll do my best to explain everything as I go, as I see it. And as always, guys, comments, tips, corrections, description below, please put them in. I want to make sure that I'm doing this as close to accurately as possible. The other thing that I think that we'll look at today is the in-game checklist, which is constantly being updated by these guys as well. Now, my guide is not so much a checklist as it is a guide to walk you through step by step by step, but the checklist is a nice thing to have on the back end, you know, to sort of, you know, double check our sanity, make sure we're doing things right. So we'll try that out today too. All right, so let's go ahead and dive on in here. We're going to go over to Phoenix Sky Harbor here. And let's see here. Let's hope that we can get on 2.6, depending on what the weather's like. So we'll go ahead and start over here. We're going to set that as our departure. We're going to rock American Airlines today so I don't get yelled at for having an A320 with Southwest. And while we're sitting here, let's go ahead and set, we're not going to worry about setting our departure in here. We're going to do it through the sim. And so let's go ahead and do our Simbrief work. What the heck? Some of the stuff that comes up, I swear. Do. All right, and we'll go to login. Let's go to the dispatch system. We're going to go create new flight. And we are going to be rocking American Airlines. That might be actually have to have 3 A's. I don't know. And let's see here. Flight number. Let's do, I always make something up. 3541. There we go. 3541. There we go. And we're departing from, nope, that's not right. Mixing it up today. KPHX to KLAS. All right. Alternate is still Ontario. That's interesting. All right. Fine. Airframe, we're looking at the A320. I'm still not sure if that's supposed to be the A321. I'll have to look that up. You know what? Let's look at this. Is the A320neo an A321 airframe? A321neo A320 family Airbus. Okay, so I'm thinking that we're supposed to be using the A321. Is there an A3? Let's Google the A320neo real quick. Who taught this guy how to type? Maybe not. Okay, so there's an A320 and an A321. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Yep, A320 and A321. Okay. Typical 2 seating 2 class. So what is the difference? I'm kind of curious. Not gonna lie. A321 come down. 2 seating class, so that's 7,400 kilometers versus, oh, I should have just gone here. Oh, no, can't just go there. Sorry, this is what happens to me, guys. It's an ooh shiny moment. This is how I find crap out. Ah, it's the range. So 6,300 kilometers versus 7,400. So A321 must be a little bit bigger. That's what I'm guessing. A little bit bigger, better engines. Okay, so we're going to stick with the A320 flight plan, or airframe flight plan. All right, so good to know. That was kind of comforting to figure out. All right, now as far as cruising in altitude, you know what? And we can set this up afterwards. Let me show you. Let's go ahead and just jump right into the sim, and we'll find out what the departing runway is. So, Silly Tips 101. There is a way to see the center of gravity in the weights and fuel balances while you are in the cockpit. Myself and even I think A320 or 320 Sim Pilot, his channel, I looked at him, his channel, I don't think that he's aware of this either unless that's changed since then, but you can actually see it. And I was always under the impression that you cannot. So again, this will be another change I have to make to the guide. Because the guide, I tell you that you have to catch it beforehand, and that's just not true. Do. Deep bop to bop bop boo. All right. Let's go ahead and get in here. Everything's popping up here. Let's go up top. All right, so right out of the bat, the sounds. I'll let you guys just listen to a few things. I'm just going to walk through my startup process here. Something cool real quick. The evacuation command switch now works. So this should be set to captain as part of the checklist, giving the captain the ultimate authority to give the order to evacuate the aircraft. And actually, we're not ready for the fuel pumps. Disregard that. Got to check our fuel. Hit the wrong one. I always start by sort of mousing over things, seeing what's working, what's not. Looks like they've got quite a few things on. Cool. You guys can see, if you look at the FCP and the glare shield, the textures have changed. It looks so much better. Like, they've definitely done some work on the texturing. You can see it. The lighting looks better. Although, I'm not sure what's going on over here with this guy. We'll have to come over there here in a minute. Waiting for the alignment, and we can see our alignment time here at about 5 minutes. Even this guy's real dim. There we go. So they added that. That's new. So the functionality is really starting to increase. All right. While we're waiting for the alignment, let's go ahead and get let's get our ATIS report. So I'll bring it over here because I don't use the audio. All right. See, it does this junk, and if you guys ever see it do this, where it's just sort of skipping, you can't get the whole thing, all you gotta do is tune something else. So if we tune here, then it'll roll by. 25983, so much for that bug being resolved in Microsoft. Every time I start up, visibility 9, sky condition clear, temperature 13, 2.13, and that's the other thing that I'm noticing is a constant, consistent out here. Same thing with the altimeter. That's not necessarily true or accurate. It is not always. Runway 35 in use. Landing and departures. Say direction of flight. Alright, so we got what we needed. Let's come over here. Alright, so we are looking at our departing runway. We will not be departing 26. Wait a minute. There is no runway 35. Why did that not process? Well, you guys are wrong about that one, so that's going to be runway 25. That much I'll give them. So it's going to be 25 or runway 26, so we can honestly probably depart 26, but we're going to hope that they give us 26, but we can set up for 25 right just in case. The departure should be the same. It's going to be the same direction. All right, and arrival obviously will wait. You know, we're going to leave it at 19 left, but that may change based on what ATIS tells us, so we'll check that out as we get in. Cargo, let's go ahead and do, well, you know what? Glad I caught that. That would have driven me nuts. Let's do an extra ton of fuel. And let's do, well, here we'll do 1.2, I think is the actual kilograms to tons. Cargo. Let's set it to auto. Let it pick it. 0 fuel weight to auto. All right, so that's everything. That's all we need for Simbrief. So let's go ahead and generate the flight plan. And I'm just going to do the print PDF preview. And while we're here, we'll bring up our performance guide. Get that ready for setup when we need it. And I'll have links for all this stuff in the description below. So I'm going to move that off screen for now so I can get us started here. Go on, go away. All right, so we have our flight plan set up. Now it's time to set up our weights and balances. So we're going to come down here to fuel. Oops. And I said you can't see the center of gravity unless you expand it, which I did not know. And what's stupid is if you think about it, so let's put it back over here where it was, right? It was like this. That's fine. Where's the scroll bar? Where's something telling me, hey, there's more information over here? Like, that's dumb. So anyway, hopefully Microsoft fixed that because that's a big one. I'm sorry. All right, and so what I'm going to do now is set the aircraft up according to our flight plan. And so what I'm going to do is disconnect the window here. There we go. And I wish I could... Yeah, see, it takes it away. Damn it. I was trying to make it so I could have both of them up so I could show you guys where I was getting all my information from. All right, now, unfortunately, the flight plan is in kilograms. We are in pounds, so we need to do some conversions here. So I'm going to bring that over here. And we want kilograms, oops, to pounds. All right, so if we're taking it from our flight plan here, we can see block fuel is 6,900 kilograms or 6.9 tons of fuel. So actually that's what I needed. Sorry, I needed to go tons to fuel or tons to pounds. Tons to pounds. Actually, no, that's not right. It would be kilograms. Disregard that. I'm retarded. So it's 6,900. So we need 15,211.9 pounds of gas. So I'm going to move that off screen, and let's adjust our total fuel. We're at 23,415, and we're looking for 15,2. So let's take that down about 40% and see what we get. All right, let's try 33. And 33 is too hot. So 477. So first thing we're going to do is knock these down to, say, 51%. Let's go 52. I wish I could just type in 52 up there, but you can't. Okay. 5222. So we are 10 pounds high. So literally all we're going to do, that's interesting, is we're going to take 5 pounds off of this. So this is going to be 65 pounds. And this one's going to be 66 pounds. And actually, no, that's going to be 65. So our fuel matches 15,211, 15,211 in pounds. So we are golden there. Now let's take a look at our cargo. So bringing our flight plan back. 0.2. Come on, guys. Really? That's what you give me? All right, so we're looking at total payload, essentially, is what we're looking at. 15.4 tons. So that part is correct. So now, again, we are going to have to go pounds to tons. Or kilograms to, or tons to pounds. Gosh. Tons to pounds. All right. And we are at 15.4 is what our flight plan has us. So we're looking for 30,800 pounds between passenger and cargo. And right now we are at 20,270. So let's see here. Pilot 170 pounds. I wish. All right, so we need to go up about 10,000 pounds. So let's move up to, oops, that's probably gonna be too much. No, well. $29,480. We're getting close here. So let's look at the baggage. We can see our center of gravity is already getting a little forward heavy. So let's come back to the rear baggage and let's add 1,000 pounds and see what we get. 30,480. So we need to add another 400 pounds about. This thing is so dumb. 30,880. So we're almost perfect there. Now, we are also going to have to clean this up a little bit. So, we're at 880. We need to take away. There we go. 30,811 pounds. So, let's go ahead and go up to business class and take away 11 pounds. I like to try to keep it as close as I can. So, 58. All right. So, there's our 30,800 pounds. Now, our center of gravity is technically still within the margin, but let's see if we can shift that back to a little bit, better roll. We're going to use the forward baggage, and let's take 1,000 pounds out of here, make that 6, and move it to the back. That didn't really do a whole lot. We can do that again. Let's do 5,000 and 9,000. Getting a little bit better. All right, we can use that. 23.9. That's fine. I can live with that. All right, so we have our fuel set up as it should be. We have our payload set up as it should be. So now we're ready to call our fuel truck. We can take note, 23.9 on the Mac. So let's close this for a second. Close that down. And we're going to contact ATC, which we shouldn't have to do for this, but we'll get the ground services rolling. Phoenix does have 2 ground towers, so we're going to go for the fuel supply. Might as well get the power supply. Get baggage, catering, and the jetway connection. And we'll separate the window and move it off screen here. All right. Now that's done, we can see that our GPS is aligned, so we're ready to go there. And first thing that should strike you guys is the coloring has changed on the MCDUs, which is beautiful. And if you also notice, that one doesn't even work. So the right MCDU doesn't work yet. Okay, well, but the brightness is now no longer matched than it was before. So let's go over to our flight plan. Oh, duh, we haven't entered it in yet. Let's go to the initialization page. And you can see right off the bat, again, more changes. Flight numbers missing, none of that's there. The company route, the coloring has changed. So some cool stuff. Let's see what happens as we start entering things in. So we're going to go from KPHX to KLAS. No company route. This is now green. This changed. This is looking good. Our alternate airport, again, is Ontario. So we're going to go KONT, which is sort of surprising. Cost index, let's find out what it is. Let's go to our flight plan. Cost index right here, a 5. Wow, that's going to be a slow flight. I don't want to use 5. Let's use like 35. Cruising altitude, we're going to be looking at 30,000 feet today. We can see that right here, 030. And let's get the temperature at our top of climb. So we're going to come down here, find our TOC right here. Top of climb, and we're looking for this guy right here. So we're looking at negative 38. So we're going to type in here 300/-38. Okay. Looking good. Now we can go to our flight plan. And let's start entering our departure information. So departing, we're going to be using probably 25, right? You know what? I wonder. Hang on a second. Before I get going there, let's do this. Let's go back to clearance. And now that we've interested our to and from, I'm going to see if it'll give us our clearance. The Las Vegas airport is filed. Nice. So once you enter that in, you can do this. So climb, maintain 10,000. Departure frequency is going to be 124.9. We're going to take off of runway 26. Nice. All right. So squawk 0635. All right. So yes, I did hear you. Goodness gracious, guys. Now let's see if he set it for us. The co-pilot did. He tends to. Went back too far. There we go. Yep. He already set it. Turned it on. But you can see our squawk code was automatically entered and the transponder was set to on. All right. So now we need to change our departure information though, because our departure on the flight plan has us taken off on 25 right, which is not correct. So good to know. So next time we will wait to enter our flight plan into Simbrief until we actually get, whatchamacallit, the departure and arrival location entered into the MCDU, and then create your flight plan. That way you can get your clearance. So we're going to leave this flight plan up. The only thing that we're going to take from the new one is the departure runway, because we need to make sure the route is correct. So let's just go ahead and just go back to Simbrief for a second. We're going to go to dispatch again. And we're going to make this one real quick. We don't care about it. AA, sure. Yep. 3541, departure, KPHX, arrival into KLAS. Airframe is the A320. Departing runway is 26. So now we just have to look at what we got here. The Zephyr 2. And let's compare that with what we had going here. And we're using the Zephyr 2 departure. So we're good there, actually. Zephyr 2 to the RS. Yep, flight plan's the same. That's what I figured would be, because we're taking off. I mean, it's taking off in the same direction. So, but just wanted to make sure. So we're good to continue using the flight plan that we had. So let's come back in here, and we are going to be looking for the 26. There it is, which is nice because that's the runway right behind us. We're going to scroll up, and all these colorings have changed. This looks so great. And find the Zephyr 2. There it is. And the transition for Arista. It's already got it. And we'll just hit insert. All right. So let's go ahead and check and see what's next from Zephyr 2. Oh, where was I? I was just there. And then we're going to go direct to IGM. So we need to find Arista. There it is. And we're going to do Airways. And then we're just going to go direct to the IGM. Oops, that's JGM. Let's do IGM. And lock that in there. And we'll always pick the closest one to us. But this is awesome that this information's here. There we go. And insert. All right. Now we just need to select our arrival. And if we check our departure, we're going to be coming in, or our route, we're going to be coming on the Tyson 5 arrival into Las Vegas, 19er left. Now, this part I'm actually not going to do yet, okay? In the simulator world, we can, obviously land in whatever direction we want, but we're going to rock this thing and see what ATC says as we get closer, okay? Because they may assign us to a different arrival, which is what happened to us last time. Actually, you know what? What the heck? We'll go ahead and enter it, and if they give us a different one, we'll change it. So let's go ahead and enter that in. So we're going to use the arrival, and we are expecting 19er left, and they have RNAV there. Yep, that's what we're looking for then. So the RNAV 19er left, and we're looking for the Tyson 5. Ooh, which is not in there. Interesting. It is not. So let's go ahead and let's go erase for a second. Let's check this again. Curious what they have in 19er, right? No, it is not available to us. Okay, so what I think we will do is go ahead and hold off, and we'll see what happens when we get up there. Maybe we'll get a different arrival. If not, we're going to have to enter in some waypoints manually, which we can do. Not the end of the world. But let's see what else we can get. Let me try something here. I wonder if we can go direct to Tyson. So let's check our flight plan. I'll show you guys what I'm thinking, what's running through my head. So here's the Zephyr 2, then we're going direct to Kingman, and then Tyson 5, our first waypoint is Zaitz. And then, yeah, there's the Tyson waypoint. I'm trying to decide if I want to enter these in or wait and see what we get. Because this could be a lot to enter in real quick. We'll see what happens. Let's just run with it and see what we get. So let's go move on. All right, so now we're going to go back to initialization. We're going to go to init B. And a lot of this stuff is auto-calculated now, so it's interesting to see what happens here. So all we're going to do is enter in our zero fuel weight, which if you just click it, you should calculate it. 21.6 though, that's not right. So if we, for example, even according to this, we should be at 23.9. Now, let me see if the refueling truck's still out there, because it may be waiting for refuel. So let's clear all this out for a second. And our block fuel, we know we have set it up to 6,900 kilograms, and we're going to go kilograms to tons. That's 6,900, 7.6 tons of gas. Throw that in there. And let's go outside. Did we request the fuel truck? I thought we did. Catering truck, baggage is done. Well, let's just enter things in manually then. Do it the old-fashioned way. What am I looking for? Alright, so let's just verify the fuel we have on board. I guess that would be the easier way to do this. I don't know why I'm brain farting this all of a sudden. Let's go back into the cockpit here. And what we can do... 6.88 kilograms. Alright, so we have our fuel on board, so it's just a matter of making sure the MCDU matches. So let's just go on down. Alright, so we have 7.6 pounds. Alright, so, but these are wrong. That is not our center of gravity. We know that much. And that is not our zero fuel weight, I can guarantee it. So if we go to our flight plan, our zero fuel weight is estimated at 59.2. So let's set that up real quick. 59 point, come on, 0.2 slash. And then we can get our CG again. I think it was 23. Yep, 23.9 is our CG. So we're going to do slash 23.9. Get those up there. All right, so we got our weights correct, but check out all this. So we have our landing weight. Obviously, the estimation is invalid yet. It may not be calculated yet, but we're getting there. Trip wind. I still haven't figured out how to enter this in correctly. Our final time, let's check that out. Final reserves. This was working, so 1089 on the kilograms. So again, we're looking from kilogram to ton, so 1089, 1.2. So let's see if that's working right now or not. Doesn't look like it, but it's got 45 minutes of saying a flight time, so we'll see how that all goes. All right. So, minimum destination fuel on board. That must be another calculation that's coming. I don't know. Anyway, so neat stuff again, though. Look at the layout looks so much better. Again, I'm going to have to get a whole bunch more screenshots for our guide again. But hey, this is something that I'm absolutely willing to do for this kind of stuff. So initialization is complete. Let's move on to performance. So we are going to be taking off with flaps 1 today. Let's go ahead and check our performance calculator to see what our temp flex is going to be, or flex temp flex. So A320 CFM engines, we'll go ahead and keep it at metric. We are going from KPHX. And let's see here, we're going to be using flaps 1. Packs will be on. We're using anti-ice as off. Runway will be dry. And then here we need our takeoff weight again, which we had up there. Let's go back to the performance page. No, sorry, initial B. 66.6. Uh-oh, scary flight. Is our takeoff weight, so 66.6. Mach 23.9. And we can go ahead and come down, select our runway of 26. We're looking for 1 up on the flaps. And we have our V speeds calculated and a flex temp of 65 today. So let's go back to our performance page. We're going to do flex temp 65. Transition altitude for the United States is 18,000 feet. Okay, and thrust reduction acceleration altitude, this should be correct. And now we can go ahead and calculate our V speeds. So let's see what the MCDU does versus what the performance calculator showed. So we got 133, 139 on rotate, and 141 for V2. And we're showing quite a bit higher on the calculator. We'll go ahead and try these speeds. So we'll be looking at 141 plus 10, so 155 at V2. So we'll set up in the FCP. Oh, you know what else we didn't get? Let's go ahead and do our meter. And we can see what the... Yeah, see, so our altimeter should be reading 2980 for Phoenix right now, not 290902. But I don't know what the impact will be if the sim doesn't think that that's the altimeter, so we're going to run with what the sim says. That might be something we're testing at some point, but I guess it is what it is. All right, so hepapascals is 1009. So let's go ahead and set our trim here, too. We can come back and go to Control 6 for the view. And let's use 7. Zoom up a little bit, or pick the camera up, and we're looking for a solid +1. That looks about right, right? Okay, and now we can go ahead and do a quick walkthrough from the back here. We still have our transponder already set to 0635. TCAS we won't turn on just yet until we're ready for taxi. There's that speed brake at full retract again. I have no idea what causes this. It is driving me nuts. I can't find a control or a axis or something that I'm doing that's causing it, but like I have no idea. Yeah, I know. I'm just messing with stuff. Now I'm gonna have to silence the caution. Really? You won't let me get it from here? There. But something that I have is tripping. No, that's my flaps. Okay. Something I have is tripping the speed brakes. And I can't for the life of me find what that might be. I have played around with all the buttons that I can think of that might cause it. And nothing. That's going to be the gear handle, so I don't want to touch that one yet. Yeah, I have no idea what is tripping that, but something keeps tripping my speed brakes. I'll be flying around for no reason. Speed brakes will go to full. I'll start to falling like a rock if I don't catch it fast enough. Anyway, okay, so let's go ahead and keep moving here. We're gonna lock the cockpit door. Parking brake is on. Transponder is set. Predictive wind shear we'll leave for off for now. Same thing with the weather radar until taxi or pushback is complete and nobody's in front of the nose. We don't want to be melting anybody's brain. Let's see here. The other thing I wanted to check. That doesn't work. Alright. Alright, and we have accumulator pressure. We can sit here and go to the flight control surfaces here. Rudders responding, ailerons responding, elevators responding. Positioning is accurate. Okay, let's go ahead and set back to the APU page. Flap is open, APU is available, so we'll be ready to switch up here. Config, flaps not tail. Oh, that was because I tripped the throttle, so we can clear that. Parking brake, TCAS on standby. It is on standby, yep. APU is available, parking brake set. Ground spoilers are armed. Seatbelts, no smoking sign is set. Alright, now we can go ahead and start setting up for takeoff. So the next thing we need to do is come down to performance page again, 141. Let's put 151 up in the box. Oops, went a little far. Alright, so we have 151 in the box. Let's go ahead and set our initial altitude according to ATC will be 10,000 feet. We can hit our constraints, do our flight directors. While we're up here, let's go ahead and verify the flight plan looks good. So we'll come back down here, go back to the flight plan page. And we'll just cycle through and make sure there's nothing weird happening. So takeoff looks good. And turning into the IGM. All the way to Las Vegas. Alright. So let's see here, right? Never entering discontinuities. Nope, no discontinuities. All right. So we'll go ahead and go from there, and then when we get close to IGM, we'll contact Las Vegas depart or arrivals and determine what the arrival we want to be using today is. All right. Other than that, I think we're ready to rock and roll. So let's get everything disconnected from the airplane. We're gonna go ground services here. And actually, you know what? While we're doing that, let's come up top for a second. And we'll get the APU bleed on. Oh, fuel pumps first, fuel pumps first, fuel pumps first, then the APU bleed. That was a bad part on me. Alright, and let's go back to clearance, I guess, here. We want ground surfaces. Come on, stupid radio. Alright, let me try... Does it work better when it's attached to the window? Guess so. That still won't let me. Alright. Tune Phoenix ground. Tune ground services. There it goes. Gosh. Alright. Request jetway disconnection. There we go. Alright. So jetway's getting out of here. I guess I can separate that now that I figured out what I was doing wrong. Okay. Fault set IRS is set. Crew supply on. Strobe light 2 on. Chime the non-smoking sign. Let the cabin know we're getting ready for taxi. Disconnect external power. Engine test 1. Engine test 2. Let's go outside for a second and take a look at what our pushback's going to look like today. Alright, so there's 2.6 right there, so it's going to be a pretty simple pushback. We'll come out, push back to the right here is what we're going to ask them, as it's coming down the right side of the aircraft. So basically, whichever way you're looking at it from the rear, you want the opposite, right? So if you're from here and you want to go this way, you're going to tell it the opposite. Even though this is your left based on your current viewpoint, you want the opposite, because how it's figuring it is from this angle. At least this is how Microsoft Flight Simulator is doing it. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to request pushback. Let's get into the cockpit for a second. We'll leave our camera setting up here, camera options, and we want to go ahead and release the parking brake. Again, normally you wouldn't do this until after they tell you to, but it doesn't exactly work the way as intended. Let's go ahead and go back to arc here, set that to about 20. Set our initial waypoint up at the top. And we're just waiting for the pushback to start. We can go ahead and set our ignition master mode, or our engine master mode, to ignition. Alright, pushback has begun. Let's go ahead and start engine 2. While engine 2 rolls, let's go ahead and monitor the pushback. I'm going to go ahead and get the camera out of your way now. And again, we're going to be steering to the right, so let's go ahead and get that rolling. Probably should have started that a little bit sooner, but that's alright. Close enough for us today. Go back into the cockpit. Go ahead and set flaps 1 for takeoff. Engine 2 is stable. Roll on engine 1. Set auto brakes to max. Set the TCAS to on. Maybe. Oh, wrong switch. There we go. Predictive wind shear, turn it to on. Weather radar we can turn on. Alright, engine 2 is ready to roll. Come up top. Maybe. Oh, helps when I hit the right button. There we go. Alright, disable the APU bleed. Engine generators have taken over. Master switch off for the APU. Oops. Should have done that earlier, before taxi. Arm the emergency exit lights. Alright, and we are no blues, all green. We're ready for taxi. Let's roll on out of here. Oops, I should have locked the parking brake when pushback was complete. That was my fault. Gosh, I'm forgetting all kinds of stuff today, aren't I? Alright, let's get out of here. Adding power for taxi. Actually, here, let's do this. Just to humor them. Taxi and hold short of runway 26 via Charlie 9 Bravo 13. Contact tower 1187 when ready. Alright. Anyway, hang on, let me get my headset rolling here. Make things a little bit easier. So that was taxiway Charlie. Here's Bravo. Get some stuttering today. He said Bravo 13, so we're going all the way down to the end. Taxing a little fast. It's hard to judge when it's stuttering like this. I don't know why I'm getting all these stutters. But I want to get that down to about 20 knots. Bravo 12. And here's Bravo 13. And here's the hold short line. We'll just hold here for a second. Come up top. Nose wheel to take off. I never set my taxi light. Gosh, I am failing today. Mercy. Set our runway turnoff light. Let's contact ATC again. Tune Phoenix Tower. Cleared for takeoff, runway 26. Alright, stabilize at 50. Looking good. Up to flex. Pushing halfway down forward. There's 80 knots. There's V1. Rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. Approaching the S there, we can bring our flaps up. Trying to get onto our freaking nav profile here. Following the flight director. Sort of all over the place, not gonna lie. Like I said, I'd be terrifying people today. Let me zoom in a little bit here. Whoa, too much zoom in. Approaching our thrust reduction acceleration at altitude. Still under manual control. So from here, we'll go ahead and engage autopilot 1. Contact departure, we just got a request. Continue as planned, 29902. Alright. Let's put the thrust levers back into climb. So we have thrust climb, nav mode enabled, autopilot 1, flight directors 1 and 2, auto throttle is on. Passing through 7,500 feet. I'm watching that speed brake like it's a beaten child. Now that we're airborne, we can change the engine master mode back to normal. Contact Albuquerque Center, acknowledge the handoff. Approaching our altitude restriction. I thought we did this. Continue as planned. So we're going to be stuck at 10,000 feet for a minute. Gosh, Phoenix departure now. This still needs quite a bit of work. Alright, new altitude, 16,000. So we're going to come over here to the box. 16,000. And click the little up arrow to get it back into climb mode. We should see thrust go to climb. There it goes. You see everything climbing up. We're climbing through 10,000 feet. We can shut our lights off. Alright, now they want us back to Albuquerque. Go ahead and take our range scale and bring it up a little bit. Got handed off yet again. I didn't start the chronometer either. Gosh, I suck today. I'm so disappointed in myself. Alright, so we should have hit this right before I pushed my throttles to flex for takeoff. Tracks the flight time. You know what would have been helpful to make sure I was on point here was to use any of the checklists or to use, you know, a guide that somebody I know was making for all of this. Yeah. All right, climb and maintain 18,000. I think we caught it early enough. Let's see. Nope. All right, so you can see here we're in speed and altitude hold. So again, we're going to make sure that a mouse, we're going to go to our altitude knob, see how the arrow is pointing up, we're going to give it a click, and we go back into thrust, climb, and climb. And it may take a second for it to respond sometimes, but that went pretty quickly. Oh, sorry. So I hope you guys are enjoying the flight. I've been working on a Patreon site to get that up and running here, and that's where the doc will be available. And all of my documents as I create them. I can't stress enough, there's going to be more than one. I'm going to be looking at the 747, the 787. I want to do a very detailed how-to guide for VFR flight planning for your general aviation pilots like myself. And break that down and how to make it like substantial. Like I'm not talking like a VFR flight from Sedona up to Flagstaff, that's 20 minutes. No, I'm talking like something from maybe like Tucson, Arizona up to like Blythe, California or something like that. A good distance within the range of the aircraft that's reasonable. That way you actually have to plan the route out well. I know that I stay a lot on the West Coast. Obviously, it's where I live. I'm familiar with it. I know it. As I become more and more comfortable with the aircraft and with the planning itself, that will change. I'm going to break down the difference between RNAV and ILS. I want to make sure to get my understanding with that. I know there's a pretty big difference between the two. The functionality is similar, right, as far as what its end purpose is, obviously, but for example, going into Vegas, we have RNAV as an option. We don't have ILS as an option. So I'm kind of curious to know what the differences are there and how to incorporate that into the guide to where, everyone has an understanding of what's going on. So there's going to be a lot of information changing, obviously, as this aircraft continues to mature through the mod. I'm going to be updating the dock. The dock will be based around the mod, and the reason is the mod has the most functionality. Worst case scenario, even if you try to use the dock in the A320 without the mod, the default A320, it's still going to work. It may not have all the features that the mod has. So if anything, the number of steps that you actually complete when using the guide will be less, right? But the principle will be the same. We are at 18,000 feet, so I'm going to go ahead and switch to barometric pressure. Oh, that's not what I wanted. So we got to go arrow down. There we go. Go to standard. Sorry. From barometric. Hopefully we get our clearance up to our cruise altitude here pretty soon. I'm going to switch over to COM 2 for a second. And I don't want to turn Albuquerque either, actually. I don't want to cancel the IFR. How do I... It's not what I want to do. I wanted to get it to where it says show further waypoints, but all of these options would be a bad choice. Yeah. Well, that sucks, so I have no choice but to talk to stupid clearance. Microsoft. God, it barely looks like we're moving, huh? It's descending. Like, I had to, like, find something that was changing. I'm like, nothing's changing. Ah, sorry. What? What are you yelling at me for? Oh, never mind. It's not. Alright, guys. Give us an altitude increase here. Why are we down at 18,000 feet? We want to go at least 10,000. No? Alright, that's cool. The sim yells at us all the time for not responding to it, but yet it doesn't respond to us. That's cool. That's cool. It's alright, bro. Alright, let me move this off for a minute. Let's get a nice view of the outside here. Oh, look at this guy. He just tells me to expedite my climb to 26,000. Come on, man. Just kidding. Alright, so let's go up to 2.6 and punch it. There we go. Now on the expedite of the climb, I probably should have forced it to increase its rate of ascent, but it is what it is. So this little arc right here, by the way, if I have it right, this guy right here indicates the point at which you should reach your set altitude. So for example, let's test that for a second. I'm not going to go up there, but if we set to 30,000, maybe not. Okay, I lied to you. That's not true. So, well, I don't know. Maybe it might be true. We're also set at 80 miles, so it may not be moving much. Nah, that can't be it. So I know in the, like the 737, it's got a little arc that goes in front that tells you basically where you're at as far as when you're going to hit your targeted altitude. Doesn't look like ATC is going to let me go up much higher yet. Okay, now they're just trying to tell me to descend again to flight level 180 and expect flight level 280. I'm not descending again. And it's only because I guarantee that's Microsoft Flight Simulator doing that. That's not a real world situation. Like, they wouldn't have me come down from 26,000 down to 18 just to go back up to 28,000. Like, gosh, the fuel wasted in that kind of a maneuver would be ridiculous for an aircraft this size. What I need to do is get the Las Vegas approach charts up. So let's do that. And let's do KLAS approach plates. Yeah. Expedite your descent to 180. No, dude. This is so stupid. That's a load of BS. But I don't want it canceling the flight plan. And if you ignore them too many times, they cancel your IFR. Microsoft, fix your crap. That's no offense to them. I don't mean that. I take that back. I get it. It's new. I get just as flustered by it as anybody else. Alright, so let's see here. So here's McCarran. Although, if you notice... Oh, airport communications. There we go. Las Vegas ground. Tiger approach. It's VFR approach. 125.9er. I wonder if we're too far out to see it. And I think the radios still match each other, don't they? Oh, radio 2 doesn't even work. That sucks. Oh, really, dude? Yeah, even when I change it manually, it doesn't give me the option to talk to the frequency that I set. That's really frustrating. Alright, well, let's just go back. Now that we're descending for some stupid reason all the way down to 18,000. And you can see here it switched out of the descent mode. Now he wants me to descend and maintain 10,000. Seems too soon, but alright. We're descending, bro. Oh, I guess we are just about ready. Okay, I need to get... It sucks because my only option is to cancel the IFR, so I don't understand what I'm supposed to do to get back to... Alright, so we're going to assume things aren't going to go our way. I'm going to get back to my flight plan here. We're going to start entering in some waypoints, or we're going to get in trouble here. So we're going to go to IGM here. And we're going to go to Airways. And what I'm going to start doing to get us at least close to on point here is I'm going to start entering in all of these waypoints. So we have the IGM, which is... Well, it should be directed... Oh, there it is. IGM, Kingman. So now we're going to go to Zates because we don't have the Tyson 5 arrival. So we're going to add... ZATES and throw that in the box and insert. Alright, and then we're going to start doing the same thing. Let me make sure the stupid tower isn't yelling at me. No, it's not. I'll leave this up on the screen for the moment. And then we're going to do the same thing. I'm just going to start working my way down. So from Zates, now we're going to enter in the Caddy and then Tyson. So let's go to Zates. Same thing, and it's K-A-D, was it K-A-D-D-Y? Yep, K-A-D-D-Y. Insert, and what is he telling me? Climb and maintain 11,000. Come on, man! Told you that was a problem from the start. I wonder if it's because I didn't have that arrival information in. It's the only thing I can think of. And then from there, we're going to go to Tyson. So from Caddy to TYSSN. Insert. You know what? I don't know that my air rack on Simbrief is accurate. I may have forgotten to update it. Now we're going to go to Susie. So find Tyson. Go to Airways. Descend and maintain 9,500. You guys are going to drive me nuts. And you have to give this a rotation from thousands to 100 when you want to go by hundreds. Make sure we're in descent mode. Yes, I acknowledge your instruction. I'm sorry. Trying to do everything that you're not fixing for me. Alright, and where are we going from here? Susie? S-U-Z-S-I. S-U-Z-S-I. And then finally from Susie, we're going to be going to Preno. And then that will be our final location into Las Vegas. Assuming we get 19er left. But we're going to lock all that in for now and see where it goes from here. I'm going to go ahead and pull ATC back off the window. That way it gives us something. Like you can see here, here's Rista. They just mirrored things get turned around here. Did the aircraft just turn around? You son of a gun. Alright, hang on a second. I wonder why it did that. Go. Go, go, go. Why are you telling me to descend and maintain 8,600 feet? Dude, something's not right. We're not ready for landing, so I don't understand what it's wanting me to do here. And I can't see. Let's go back to plan. Are we turning away from it? Look at this. What's it doing? Look at this. 6,500 nautical miles. Something is not right, man. Alright, you know what we're going to do, guys? We're going to go direct to Zates. Yeah, okay, so I had turned us around. That was my fault, damn it. $8,600 feet over land like this. We're going to be like scraping the mountaintops at 8,600 feet. Dude. Something ain't right. But whatever. We're going to let it roll for now. But that can't be right. Come on. There it goes. Descend and maintain 8,000. Are you kidding me, man? Are we further than I thought we are? Yeah, acknowledge instruction. We're descending. I don't feel like we should be, but we're descending. We're at 80 miles, guys, and we can't see the next waypoint, so why are we descending so freaking low? You know what? I'm going to request our IFR clearance and see what they say. So I just started the clearance over again. I brought it up. Look at this. 8,000. Alright, yeah. Read back the clearance. Climb and maintain 10,000. You son of a gun. So, Microsoft, you totally just shot my fuel usage right through the roof. Yes, I heard your last transmission. I am climbing with joy. Well, you guys got a nice scenic view of the terrain at 8,000 feet. Unreal. Alright, so I had to step away for a minute. Anyway, so obviously a mistake was made there on my part. But that 6,500 nautical miles, guys, that was a big indicator that something wasn't right for me. The distance from Phoenix to Vegas isn't 6,500 miles. So, you know, I leave the mistakes like that in my videos, and because I want you guys to be able to recognize them, you know, as I do. You know, so it looks like we're on an altitude or a speed restriction. We've slowed down here. Nope. Don't you dare start that. Caught you that time, you jerk. I have no idea what is causing that. I know I keep saying that over and over. If you guys are running into that or have ever seen that or have any idea what the heck I could be doing, please let me know, because I can't find it. Like, I have no idea why that's happening. Alright, yep, we're still told to hold at 10,000. And we should actually be under standard right now, or barometric. Just taking a look out the window, seeing if there's anything that looks familiar. Looking at my flight plan right now, trying to see what the distance should look like here. Yeah, we should be up at 20,000 feet at this point, it looks like. But we'll follow ATC's rules here for the moment, just to display how screwed up it is, if nothing else. Because yeah, we are ridiculously low for this aircraft, which means we're probably burning more fuel than we should be. You know what I never did? I never checked the takeoff config. Oops. Alright, looks like we finally got Zates coming up at 85 nautical miles. Yeah, I'm going to request an altitude increase. Get me back up to my altitude increase. Alright, climb and maintain 20,000 feet. Let's go. Oop. Even though, again, we're burning a lot of fuel that we shouldn't be. 20,000. Yes, I heard your last transmission. Come on. And let's kick this back down. Alright, thrust and climb. Configurations to climb. Engines are accelerating to climb speed. You see where our top of descent is just after Zates. So I'm actually going to do another request altitude increase and look for 8,000 more. And again, they told me climb to 20,000, expecting 28. So we'll see what happens. So yeah, ATC screwed me up there. I didn't understand what was going on there, so I didn't understand how to avoid it. These are the things we learn. And again, this is why I leave my mistakes in the videos. That way you guys can hopefully avoid them in yours. And give feedback. I'm definitely interested in the feedback. I want to know what you guys think about this stuff when it happens. Aside from just calling me an idiot who didn't pay attention, because that part I'm aware of. Do you have the pitot heat on? Do we have to turn the pitot heat on? Or is that automatic? Where's the anti-ice? Right there. Okay. Probe heat. Looks like it's set to auto. Okay, it doesn't let me do anything anyway. Not that I doubt we needed it at this altitude, that's for sure. Good thing we have extra fuel on board. So anyway, That's why I'm practicing. That's why I'm doing a few of these videos before I do the actual arrivals tutorials, because I want to experience a couple of different arrivals first. Make sure I have a good grasp of the things that can take place, how to change your approach based on what's given. I would imagine that the arrival is given based on, you know, calling ATC rather than just given in your departure in your flight route. But it's really weird that I can't tell this I want to go back to, you know how sometimes you get that option where it says, you know, airport's furthest from me, but it sounds like the only way to do that is to hit the cancel IFR, and I don't want to do that. Like, that doesn't make sense. So I'm just going to hold off for now and hopefully get the information we need soon. I mean, I don't even know if we're going to reach our climb altitude before we get to Vegas. We're already approaching 20,000, so maybe. And now I just got the permission to go to 28,000 from ATC. Oops, I keep doing that. And we're still in climb, so I caught it early enough. Good, we're going to keep on climbing up. And now we're being handed off to Los Angeles Center. Okay, telling us to continue to Zates as planned. And every time it stutters, it's me moving one of those windows around, guys. So that's the graphics smoothed way out once we got airborne. I don't know if we're under altitude restriction here or what's happening, but our ascent rate has dropped dramatically, yet we're set for 28,000. We're at our climb speed. Alright, now we're being told to contact Los Angeles Center again on a different frequency, so a different station. Continue to Zates as planned. I'm going to tap our altitude button. I'm not sure what happened here. Let's get back into climb. I have no idea why I did that. Because you can see it switched modes. It switched from climb to altitude hold. Oops. And once again, at 18,000, I forgot to switch back to barometric. I'm just a mess right now, guys. Absolutely a mess. But again, these are things I want you guys to watch for and pay attention to when you're doing your flights. That way you don't make the same mistakes. Now, there isn't a huge issue with me doing what I was doing because we had it set to 299 as the altimeter, which is standard. Anything above 18,000 feet, essentially you switch to 299 Just that button allows you to switch it much easier. But if we had a different altimeter readout when we were set to barometric, like what was supposed to be was 2980, was what Phoenix was currently showing, according to the weather data. There would have been a difference when we, and that's important to recognize that if we were on 2980 in the barometric setting and we switch it to standard, our altitude would switch. It would change. So we'd either have to ascend or climb, and I think in that situation we would have had to climb further to get onto the altitude that ATC thinks we should be at. Okay, because above 18,000 feet, they're expecting to see, you know, they know that we're supposed to be on standard altimeter. So if we're not, and our altimeter is set to something else, we're going to be it's going to show 28,000 feet, but we're not actually going to be at the 28,000 feet that ATC thinks we should be because we're on the wrong altimeter setting. Hope that makes sense. I know that can be a little weird to follow. So it looks like right before Zays we're going to finally get back to our climb or our cruise altitude. Need to hurry and get our vectoring in, or our approach from ATC, so I can get it entered into the computer, because we're going to need some stuff. We need to tune ATIS here pretty soon. Alright, and of course, as I make the switch outside, now we're being told to descend and maintain 20,000. Did it again. And make sure down arrow set. Oops. We're set for descent, so right as we were getting to the altitude. Oh, this poor plane. It's like, what are you doing to me? Finally got to our cruise speed. I really need to know what runway they have active. Be it like I have none of the options. Yeah, that just expands the window. Get good enough here, and I'm going to start using Pilot's Edge. Descend and maintain 12,000. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and set our arrival for the 19er left. No star, because they don't have what I'm expecting us to have. So we're just going to hit insert for now to give me something. And we can go to performance and activate the approach phase. Do I still have the Las Vegas? I'm reading the runway charts here. Bear with me here. Trying to determine if this has the minimums on it. I even have the... What is that? Alright, you are 45 miles southeast, descend and maintain 8,000 feet. Expect ILS 26 left via the Preno transition. So let's go ahead and acknowledge that. Let's go back into our flight plan. We're going to go to arrivals, and we are looking for the ILS 26 left approach via the Preno transition. So I don't know. Nothing for Preno. Oh, via Preno. Okay, cool. So let's go. There we go. All right, we're golden here. So now we can come on in and descend 8,000. Shit. Pardon my French. Let's do that. Again, back to barometric altitude. Continuing the descent. Almost ready for flaps 1 here. See these hash lines here indicate that we're ready for the first stage of flaps. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and drop flaps 1. And let's see here. Go ahead and bring our lights on now. I want taxi light for the lights. And we can go ahead and chime the crew. Auto brakes we're going to set to medium. We're pretty light, got a long runway. Don't need a full brakes. Switch our arc down to 40 for the moment until we get closer. Speed brakes are still armed, thank God. They haven't fought me in a while. Now, what I'm looking for here is we need to get the minimums. That's a really dumb image. Thank you, Google. So, I'm looking... And actually, we're not using the Tyson 5, so that doesn't make sense. Never mind. Disregard that. So we're looking for the ILS 26 approach. There we go. That's what I'm looking for right there. And what we want... So here's our ILS frequencies, right? Nope, sorry, that's Las Vegas Tower, ground. Where's our ILS frequency? Where is it? Let's see here. Hold on a second. I'm grabbing a whole bunch of things all at once. So 292 feet is our minimums. Here's the localizer DME frequency. So this would be basically, this is our ILS if I'm reading this right. ATIS at 132.4. Localizer 1110.3. Las Vegas 116.9. This might be the ILS right here. Well, that's a VOR. Sorry. Contact Las Vegas approach. Let's go. Altimeter 29902. Continue to preno as planned. Steady altitude. Alright, so select another runway, select another approach. Yep, see, there's still no way to get the freaking weather. I don't know why it's not letting me tune out without canceling the flight plan. I don't want to do that. Oh, sorry. Disregard. Ignore me. There we go. So if it ever does that, just left-click the trim wheel and it sets back to automatic. Alright, so I need to come down here for a second, and we're still going to go back to our performance page, go to the approach. Now, we're going to assume... Oh, QNH is not right. Damn it. QNH is 29902, which I doubt that is true for Vegas, but whatever. 29902. Temp, we're going to call it 13. Winds is 259 at 3. I can guarantee it. Oops, wrong button. So I'm putting in what I'm used to seeing because I can't figure out why it won't let me do this. Transition altitude, I think that's going to be the preno waypoint from the departure plate. $8,000. If I'm not putting this in right, guys, say something please in the comments below. And estimated approach speed is 156 knots. Vertical landing speed is at 151. Minimums is 292 feet. That goes in the MDA. And we won't worry about the decision height. Alright, so we are set as far as the MCDU goes. The phase is active. So we can go back to our flight plan for the moment. And if we go back to our charts for a second, looks like we haven't even reached any of these yet. Relin? I don't remember seeing that one. Yeah, we're just going to have to sort of wing it here. I don't see any of these waypoints that they're referencing here on the screen. Descend and maintain 6,500. Oops. Alright, 6,500 feet. I'm going to go ahead and turn the localizer on, turn the LS on for landing our ILS. Let's go ahead and bring the landing gear down. I don't have visual on the runways yet. blue indicates we haven't locked up to localizer, and there it is. Never mind. So we picked up the ILS. Here's the ILS frequency. Here's the ILS indication, the deviation bars. So you can see this is our vertical deviation. This is our horizontal deviation. We want these diamonds in the triangle, or the diamond in the triangle, basically right. We want the triangle right in the center of our speed indicator. Okay, and actually I think they should be on the other side for the altimeter. Pretty sure this is on the wrong side. That might be a bug with the new release. Because this should be over here. Because this should be a vertical indicator. Oh, descending down to 4,900 feet. Alright, and this time I'm not going to forget to manage that speed. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and go flaps 2 now. That was the other thing I forgot to check. Hang on a second. Did I tell I wanted flaps 3? Configuration 3. Okay, cool. Alright, we can go ahead and leave that up. That's not a huge deal. And the F should indicate for flaps full. So we can go ahead and go flaps full now. Almost a little too fast, but that's alright. Go to 4,500 feet. I'm anticipating them to give me further descent here in a minute. It's a radar altimeter talking. We're getting a little low against those mountains there. Alright, 13 miles. Getting told to contact the tower. So I'm doing that now. Alright. I told you, winds 258 at 3. Sorry, I missed that by 1. ILS 26 left approach, altimeter 299 at 3. Winds 258 at 3. Acknowledge the landing clearance. We're clear to land. So I'm going to keep coming down. And I'm going to go ahead and enter the approach mode. You can see glide slope is locked, localizer is locked. Now we'll just monitor that altimeter. Oh, here's our vertical indicator. It looks like we're still a ways off. Let's go down to 10 here. Alright, so we're still 10 miles out. I'm going to hold 3,000 for now. I guess I shouldn't have busted my altitude like a dork. So you can see this is going to be about our 10-mile line. So we're about 11 miles away yet. So I'm just going to hold our altitude here. So again, got a little low. There's another mistake, guys. So hope you guys watch for that. Pay attention to your distance. So at 9 miles, we should be at about 3,000 feet from touchdown. So there's our runway. So now I'm going to go ahead and start descending again, 2,500. And actually, I think at this point, we'll see if I can screw this up by taking over. So here we go. Make sure everything's still armed. All right, approach off, auto throttle off. Here we go. Whoa, what was that? VNAV? These poor guys in this building right here are probably crapping a brick right now. I'm going to keep it over this building here. We can fix it. We can fix it. There we go. Glide slope. So I'm just sort of maintaining until the glide slope comes back to us. Oh my god, these guys are going to be calling the tower, going, what the heck is with American Airlines 1133? These guys were ridiculous. We've come off here. Oh, bounced big time. Full reverse. 370 knots. All right. So the aircraft stopped. Looks like the speed brakes deployed. So again, another biffed approach, but you know, we're getting there. It was better than last time, believe it or not. But this is why I'm practicing all this stuff in front of you guys, so you can see my mistakes before I enter it into the guide. I want to make sure I get this stuff down and correct beforehand. So we can clean up the aircraft here. Exit the runway. Acknowledge the ground handoff. All right, and even though it was a exciting landing where a lot of people are going to be wondering what the heck just happened here, that was our flight to Las Vegas. I hope you guys enjoy your stay. Make sure not to spend any money that you shouldn't be spending. Okay, watch for those guys on the street who are flicking the weird cards at you. Okay, you guys who have been to Vegas know exactly what I'm talking about. Doesn't matter who you're with, they're handing them out. And I will catch you guys in the next one, where we'll probably fly from Vegas back to Phoenix and hopefully have a better little experience. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.